So we must know that we're all living in a spiritual warfare, right? I mean, this is just like, this is basically how life works, not to be dramatic or to scare anybody, but it's just, it is what it is. Like, it's the whole, like, the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. It's life. It is life, okay? So since the beginning of when we got born into this existence, since the beginning of time, this is just how it is. And there are certain times in life where it's just so much more obvious. And I want to speak a lot about how, I mean, clearly this is a spiritual channel, but I myself, my own self, I'm evolving into, well, I was a psychology major, but also political and societal and global, and like I've always known that everything interconnects. Everything is interrelated. And just keep in mind that this is the direction I'm going to keep moving into. So let's talk about, well, there's spiritual warfare and there's like, you know, like the actual warfare that's happening right here on 3D Earth. But we're not even in 3D anymore. And that's a whole conversation in and of itself. But let's do one thing at a time. Okay. So warfare, the definitions of different generational warfare. So in the very beginning, we've got first, second, third, fourth. It might be like one-on-one combat, and then it might be armies, and then it might be, okay, now we have weapons and we have guns, we have tanks, we have covert warfare, we have snipes, we have spies, we have technology. So now we're getting more technological. We've gotten to the point now, right here, today, in these present times, where we're in a 5th generational warfare. What does that even mean? Okay, it means that it's psychological warfare. It is fear-mongering. It's suppressing the power that you have instilled in your own self, which is really what war is about. If you think about it, let's break this down. This is exactly what it's about. So the way that I'm always going to loop everything back together. So if you think about it, what does an abuser do? Which should be AKA the devil. What would someone who wants to have power over you do? They would control you. How would they even get to that point? Well, they would love bomb you. They would show you all the shiny things in life and make it all out to be this glorious quick fix that they can do for you. They would groom you. They would keep pushing a certain narrative that puts you in a certain direction, that furthermore and furthermore and furthermore keeps you dependent on them. They would isolate you from others that might see a different way. They would gaslight you. So anytime that you question it, they're going to say that you're the crazy one. But how do you know which side you're on? How do you know that this is even happening? Well, how do you feel? It all comes down to emotions. How do you feel? Are you on a side of a particular relationship or a particular movement or just anything in life where you're like sick to your stomach, you're angry, you feel chaotic, you feel confusion? And the ironic thing that I want to say right now, it's very paradoxical actually, is because I'm not going to say that it's necessarily even a wrong thing. Because this is just human life. This is, life, all beings, all life. It's figuring out what doesn't work for you so you can figure out what does. So I'm not even saying it's a wrong thing. I'm just saying that it could be a much more pleasant experience. From this point forward, just expect a lot of political videos. Expect videos that talk about psychology and neuroscience and how the mind works. Expect more videos on how this is all spiritually related, and that everything that's happening in the ethers is happening. It's getting played out down here on 3D Earth. But there's always a silver lining, because this is the Word of God. So ultimately, every video is going to come back to the Word of God. The devil likes to work in extraordinarily, I mean, to be honest, very, 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 very powerful ways, but extraordinarily tricky ways as well. So that's why we have the Jeffrey Epsteins of the world. That's why we have the P. Diddy's of the world. That's why we have Hollywood freaking out. That's why we have divisiveness. That's why we have chaos, confusion, anger, misinformation, propaganda. This is, let me bring it back full circle. This is the 5th generational warfare that I've been alluding to. But truth will always prevail. Truth always comes out in the end. This is why we're seeing everything that we're seeing right now. So we are living in extraordinarily pivotal times. Congratulations, you won the lottery, because it is exciting. And everyone up there, they're eating their popcorn and enjoying the show. And just like any good show, they want the best one to win. Don't you? Don't you? So again, I ask of you, well, people have asked me, why are you even getting into all of this? Is it affecting you directly? Why do you want to fluff the feathers, stir the pot? Well, let me ask you back. Why would I want to become a therapist? Why would I want to become a police officer? Why would I want to be a firefighter? Why would I want to do anything that helps people, even one person, and even better, many people? Because I have a heart, because I care. Maybe there aren't things that are like directly affecting me at any, like, not even nearly as much as it is affecting other people, but it still does, by the way, because I do have friends, I do have family that are stressed out, that are depressed, that have lost weight because they're obsessed with supposed things that are going on in the world that aren't, that there are things that are going on in the world, but there are a whole lot of things that are misconstrued that are really not at all, and do not deserve your time, energy, stress, fear, anger, sadness, depression. So I care about people. And I'm going to end on one last note. So I don't want to, actually, I'm going to 2 notes, because I don't want to end on a negative note. I never do that. But let's go back to the negative situation. Well, actually, it's both. I'm saying both at the same time. I mean, I'm answering my own situation here. So if it were, it's all good. I've never been a person to use that statement, but it is all good. So if you save one person, if you save your own self, because really, well, that's a whole other video, because it all is yourself. Anyway, but I digress. Saving one person, completely worth all of it. 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 50, 100, 150, even more worth, like, it's all worth it. But let's think about this, like, logistically. So if you want to have the most influence, wouldn't you want to figure out a way to speak to the masses? So just take that into consideration. Wouldn't you want to have the quickest, most efficient way of speaking to the most people in the most impactful way possible, so that I'm talking about the negative side right now. It's really both, but let's speak to one before the other. So that they can self-sabotage, so that they can create their own negativity within and on top of their own selves. Wouldn't that be quicker and easier than going one by one by one by one by one by one by one? How about having speakers that spew it all out and put all of the fear and distress into the masses? So now we're going to end on the good note, is that can happen on the good side as well. The more that we spread the message of love and truth and true unity, the more that we can do the same, and actually a lot better. And for better reason, clearly. So here we are. Again, congratulations, because this is what we're here for. I know it's what I'm here for. And I am so, so, so happy that you are still with me watching my videos. And at the end of this video, so that means that you're along with me and I'm along with you on our journeys together. Hence, Wake Up with Mara. Let's stay tuned. Let's stay tuned in. Let's keep waking up and keep spreading the word. See you next time.